Hi everyone, this is John Willis and I'm an expert in Grass Valley's K-frame series. And you may remember that earlier this year when NAB didn't happen in America, Grass Valley posted an evolutionary picture of what's happening, including a sneak peek of what's going to happen in August. Well, this is an update to that sneak peek. So let's just quickly review things. There are several control panels available ranging in size from the GV Corona, right the way through the Carrera, and all the way up to the big Kayenne series. All of the K-frames, ranging in size from the 3-rack unit V-series frame right the way up to the standard frame, will be controlled by any of those panels as required. And that's something that's going to be continued as the new frames are released. This diagram shows the evolution of the K-frame, and at the left-hand side we can see that the classic K-frame was released in 2013. In 2018 the K-frame X was released. This was the first IP-capable K-frame. The next step, the K-frame XP, which should be released in August this year, will keep the I/O cards, but replace all of the mid-plane, all of the MixFX bank cards, the controller, and the image stores. So let's have a sneak peek at what the GV K-frame XP compact mixer will be able to do. 80 by 40 inputs and outputs, that's a maximum for the smaller frame. This will all be in HD or 4K 2160p single raster. Maintaining the use of those I/O cards means that this can be all IP, all SDI, or a mixture. The frame is quite small, only 8 rack units high, with a very, very powerful cooling system pulling air from the front and blowing to the side. The compact frame will support 3 MixFX banks per board, 2 boards maximum per frame, and each MixFX bank will have 6 full function keyers per ME. By that I mean, even in 4K processing mode, the loss of keyers, which we've seen in several versions of 4K previously, will not occur. Every MixFX bank will still be a fully functioning MixFX bank. 6 keyers, all the white patterns, and each keyer will have 2D DPMs with perspective. And by that I mean that when you tip a 2D DPM back like this, you will see perspective. And to the side, you'll see this. What you won't be able to do will be a Z rotation. For that, you'll need one of the 3D IDPMs, and you can get 16 of those in an optional plugin for each of the systems. In April, a new software version was released, v14.6, and this switched on the ability to use single stream IP 4K on 25 gigabit Ethernet SFPs. It contains a lot of work on the completion of ST2110 and precision timing protocol, which of course is the way that you can time your switcher without using analog reference signals. For the V-series, in-band PTP on the video I/O cards has been implemented. That's because the V-series doesn't have a separate PTP connection. It also means that moving forward, PTP timestamp can be used to auto-align audio with video based on that timestamping. Also implemented is wide traffic shaping. And what that means is that should you be using a device which puts out bursty streams, and typically this is something based around a computer system, usually things like character generators, that will be completely supported by the systems. AMWA NMOS ISO 4 and ISO 5 is now supported, and that's a system which allows standardized discovery of IP endpoints and sources. And because it doesn't only register those sources, it also allows configuration of them. It's almost like having an external router controller, which can set up the I/O numbers, IP numbers, of your mixer.
Useful tools when Grass Valley release new software are the KSP, which I'm showing you right now, the menu, and of course the associated simulator, and I'm running the K-frame X simulator. So let's quickly look at the menu inside KSP to see how the NMOS setup is made. It's inside Engineering Setup, inside Node Settings, NMOS Configuration, and the only real choice is whether to enable NMOS or not. All the discovery is made using MDNS, so it's easy to set up. A short video of how to set up the simulators and menus on your laptop is available too. Another good tool to use with new software are the release notes. They're inside the download, and here is the release note for version 14.6. Here's a better view of the menu all on its own. I'm going to use it to look at the video I/O section. The K-Frame X can be all IP, all SDI, or a mixture of both. And here is a view of the first 10 video I/O boards, plus the modular I/O expansion cards. Each one identifies itself, so you can see that board 1 says it's an in-out card, it is number 1, and it's of the IP1 version. So what does an IP1 card give us? Let's look at the IP/I/O config. This is the section which allows me to tell the card what speed of SFPs it's using. The only other choice to make for that is how many streams each SFP is using, and of course that depends upon the video format of each stream. If I were using single stream 12 gig, for instance, 2 inputs, 1 output per SFP would be the limit. When it's time to set the input IP addresses, that's done right over here, and I can do those one at a time. That's going to be a very long job. Another method is to use bulk configuration, which allows me to define the system start and system end. That could be 1 and ending at 196. Define a starting IP address, and then allow each of the last octets to be increased by, for instance, in this case, 1 digit per go, until everything's done. This works really well for small adjustments. But if I'm configuring the system from scratch, another good way is to use the import-export config file, which builds a spreadsheet compatible with things like Excel, and which does a lot of error checking for me and allows me to configure the switcher as if it was a router system. Finally, let's have a look at the modular I/O cards. This is board 1, and you can see right now I'm looking at the matchdef function of input 1. It's going to convert a full frame 2160p video into the layers required for 4K 2SI. It can also cross-convert square division or 2SI to the correct 4K mode, as well as up-convert any of the incoming HD versions. And on the output, can down-convert and merge to make the required outputs. All of this information is in the user documents which are included with the software download. Thanks for watching. And as a final piece of information, this page, the Discover page, which covers all the information of Grass Valley products not able to have been shown in person at NAB, is on the web right now.